Hi everyone, this is Maggie. Thank you for stopping by to spend some time with me today. I really appreciate it. And this is Easter weekend. Today is Good Friday. And I'd like to wish you a happy and blessed Easter. It kind of snuck up on me this year, to be perfectly honest. The time seems to go by just so fast. And with the baby, she's growing so fast, and time can really get away from you. So today we're going to work in our no writing journal, altered planner calendar. So I've already picked a page. Now usually, and before I turned on the camera, believe me, I did just sit and look at this for a few minutes and try to decide what I want to do. I pulled out something from one place and thought, oh, well, maybe this would work with that. Till I came up with a little collection of stuff. So the page I've picked is, well, I lost my place now, but it doesn't really matter. We'll go right here. And I am going to be using, I got this beautiful paper pad. I'm sure y'all have seen it if you've been doing this for a while. I'm new to paper pads and everything. But I got it on sale from Amazon. Not from Amazon, but from Michael's. And it's embossed. It's an embossed paper pad. And it comes in all these lovely soft colors. From green to blue to yellow, pink, white, and kind of a real soft, I don't know if you'd want to call this beige or off-white. And they're all embossed. Now, mind you, they're not, there's no point in me even showing you because I don't think they would show up. They're not deeply embossed like I get when I run paper through my Sizzix, but they definitely are embossed and they're very pretty. You have several pages of each color. And then there's 8 embossed designs, so every color has 8 designs. So there's 58 pages here. So I decided to go with the purple, or the violet or lavender, whatever color you want to call it, because it's a spring color and because it's a Easter color as well. And I'm a little late doing this today. I got to spend most of the morning with my little granddaughter, which I just love spending time with her. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I like it when she's awake and wants to be playful and everything, but I just enjoy watching her sleep and just holding her in my arms. And good report from my granddaughter who just had her baby boy. She's doing well. She's still in the hospital and we will be there probably past the weekend. They want to make sure that everything is going okay with her incision before they release her. And the baby, there's nothing wrong with his heart. Absolutely nothing wrong with his heart. So that's a good thing. And he's feeding better, so that's good. And he still is on oxygen, but I think he's on a very low amount of oxygen, very low percentage. And hopefully, I haven't heard this, but I'm hoping that he'll be able to come home when his mom is released so they can go home together and get on with their lives as a little family. I know my daughter is here in Houston, her mother, Annie's mother, my oldest daughter is here in Houston, and I know it's really hard on her not to be there. She's, a teacher librarian and just cannot take off from work as she pleases, so that becomes a little bit of a problem. But anyway, if you said prayers for her, I really appreciate it, and thank you so very much. So I've got the base. Now this cardstock is not real heavy, but on the other hand, it's not real flimsy either, but I still backed it with a lightweight cardstock to put in my book because this paper is pretty, I don't want to go there. That's on the back of that. I'm not ready to do the back yet. Let's go over here. It's pretty flimsy, so I like to give it a little bit of body by placing what I'm working on a piece of cardstock. So this violet color is the base now. I pulled out this fabric. I pulled out some bits of lace. Now I could pull out more, but I don't have a lot of real estate here to work with. And then when searching for something to add as a focal point, I was trying to find someone, a lady or a gentleman or a family that looked like they might just be all decked out for Easter. And this beautiful young lady looks like she is pretty well decked out. I did put some ink here just to kind of get rid of the white. My Scan and cut this image out, but it didn't get the white, and I probably could go in there and cut that out, but I just didn't want to do it. So anyway, so we've got her, and then I pulled out this part of this paper pack that I got from Amazon. I showed it on camera a few days ago, and excuse the crinkle, but there's pink and the purple and blue and green and brown. Maybe that's all the colors. And then it comes with these little cute buttons. I'll place over here for now. And then several pieces of coordinating pieces of paper, or whatever you might call it. Now this does have a light kind of lavender tint to it. I have no idea what this webby stuff is. I mean, this is all just like a big web. So I don't know exactly what this is. And then it comes with this material that looks like a piece of window screen, but only it's much flimsier, and it's got all these little white dots on it, but you can see through it. And then this material, this paper here, which almost in some ways, it doesn't match this, but it seems like the fibers that are in here are very similar to this. I don't know. I've never seen this type of thing before. And then you just have some other decorative papers. Here's some purple, some violet or lavender. And this is just, here's some, I don't know if this is vellum, but it's pretty thin, but it's white on the back. So interesting pieces of paper that you can use to create. And every every different color has its own special pack and combination of papers and textures, which is so much fun. So what am I going to use today? I wish somebody could tell me what I want to use. I don't quite know yet. I want to use this. That's pretty. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Now this particular piece of paper is embossed with flowers, and I really do wish you could see it. There's just really no way to show it up on camera. I wanted to lightly go over it with some ink to kind of help the embossing to kind of stand out. But when I did that, there is a lot of blank space in this pattern. When I did that, then a lot of the ink rubbed off into the middle. So I didn't want to do that. I have to learn how to do that. So anyway, it is pretty though. So I do kind of like this. I really do. I think that's pretty. This kind of just pretty, but it kind of fades into the background of that. You can barely see it on camera. I can see it in person. It looks nice. And then we have this screen stuff, which is also very pretty. It's soft, but it does stand out a little bit. Well, Maggie, what do we want to use? Good question. No. I guess I'm having trouble making up my mind today. I think I like this. It stands out a little bit better. Although they're all very pretty. I love this pack of papers in fabric or textures, whatever some of this stuff is. But I do feel it might have been a little pricey for what you get. These little buttons are adorable, but I have bought buttons just like this at one of the online stores. For if you figure out the cost, they're much, much cheaper. And I had never seen these on Amazon before, so I don't know if this is a good price for them or not. But they're pretty and they're fun to use in your journal. So you know, do what you can do. If you don't have stuff like this and don't have access to it, then just use what you've got around the house. All right, I'll do this later off camera. Okay, so I've got my base. I've got another layer, and I've got this little lady here. Now, do I want to add any fabric to it? Do I want to put some? No, this kind of would cover up all the fabric. But maybe I could put I don't have quite, this lace isn't quite long enough to put it down the side. No, I think I want to try to keep it simple. Maybe I will try to cut some of this and see if I can sew a, make a little ruffle to go around down the bottom of this. That might be cute. Not very wide. And I have said on here before, I love to tear fabric. I love the sound of it. And, you know, usually you get all these strings. And in the beginning, I threw all these strings away. I mean, I've sewn in the past quite a bit. And I never even thought I would just clean it all up. But when I first started making journals, one of the creators that I listened to said, "Oh, save your strings," because, I mean, she had more than one jar full of strings. I have one jar going that I just started recently, and because I just thought it would be fun. And I've actually only seen one creator on YouTube actually use these strings for anything, and she kind of took some and formed them into a little bow or something to embellish a page. But I'm just watching them kind of migrate back together. I feel like if I had a slow motion camera and just set these aside for months and months and months, that they would gradually just kind of reform in what they know they're supposed to be, and that's some sort of a piece of cloth. I know that's silly, but it honestly looks like it's doing that to me. I mean, when I put thread in here, I literally just drop it in. The most I push on it is just to get it beyond the lid. And you probably can't tell on camera, but how these threads have all just kind of wound around each other. I don't even know what it would be like to try to pull any of them out. But I'll give it a try one day, but not today. So that's a little silly thought, useless. But I think it's interesting. All right, so here we've got this and we've got this. I'm gonna sew a ruffle. Let me get my little sewing thing over here out of my handy dandy drawer. Again, I have not yet labeled these drawers. And so I fumble around looking for things, or things are put in a drawer that really doesn't make any sense. So, and I do enjoy a little hand sewing in my journals. I don't do as much of it as I used to be quite honest, only because I veered off in another direction. And when it's in such a rush to get journals finished and do 2 journals of the same thing at a time, that I lost my perspective and lost just enjoying the process, which to me, that's what a big part of junk journaling is all about, is just enjoying the process and enjoying the things that we have to work with. I gotta be able to see to thread this, or I'm gonna need my glasses. I need my glasses. My handy dandy dime store glasses. I did just order glasses. Hallelujah, I've only had the prescription since August and I can hardly wait until they're filled. I had laser surgery done about 20, well, it's been more than 20 years, it's been about 25 years. And because I was very, very farsighted. But I did have stigmatism. But from working in the NICU, I met a wonderful ophthalmologist, or not an optometrist, that was doing laser surgery on our babies. And I inquired with him about getting laser surgery because I know some of the nurses had. He had a practice outside of just coming to the hospital. He was very, very good and actually helped to invent some of the material, some of the machines that they use to do a laser surgery, and I'm sure they've come a long, long ways in the last 20 years. But anyway, I had laser surgery done. My daughter, my youngest daughter, had laser surgery done at the same time. Well, Maggie, I'm going to have to call in the arsenal. I got to call in the troops. Where's my handy dandy needle threader? So her and my nephew, Lena's cousin, we all went to the same doctor, staggered times of course, and he did our surgery. And then at the time I said, this is the best thing I ever did for myself. And I have continued to feel that way over the years. I've never been sorry. It's only been, and he had told me when he did my surgery, he said, as you get older, he said, you will notice a change in your eyes. He said he could not do any more laser on my eyes because they were really bad. And that once I did start noticing the changes, you know, I would need reading glasses and everything. And boy, he was so right. But it's okay because I still have really good vision, and I'm very, very thankful for it. Very thankful. I don't take it for granted. My husband, when his body was really starting to kind of fail on him, and his some of the processes that he had going on in his body were getting worse. He lost his vision in 2016, and he was a professional truck driver. And before he was a chaplain in the Army, that was his MO. And he drove everywhere. He drove me to work whenever he could because he was retired. He drove me to work. And he loved to drive. He just loved to get in the car and drive. Sometimes we'd get in the car if I wasn't working and we didn't have anything else planned. And now this is very rough sewing. There's nothing intricate about this. I'm not measuring my stitches. I'm just gonna do a irregular running stitch, and by irregular I mean all the stitches are not going to be the same size. That's okay, it works. But when he lost his vision, and he literally lost them in both eyes and was declared legally blind, he handled that with such grace. He didn't get mad at God. He didn't get mad at the world. He didn't get all depressed because of it. And he set such an example to myself, and I know to our girls, because my daughter that just had the baby, that we live together, is going through the same thing. She unfortunately has a lot of the issues that her father had, which is so sad for me to watch her have to go through some of this, but she handles it like a warrior with so much grace and dignity, and I'm sure that is because of the example that my husband set for her at that time. And at that time she was getting more involved with her dad, because I was still working. I was working full time, and she was taking her dad to most all of his appointments, and especially his eye appointments. He would go every month to see the eye specialist. And yes, he continued just to be wonderful about it. You know, it was so hard to watch him go through that as a couple, because I could get myself where I needed to go, but driving was not really something that I enjoyed and would want to do for a living, for sure. But we missed that. We both missed it because we couldn't do everything we wanted to do, and there was things we wanted to do. We wanted to buy an RV and kind of travel around the country. You know, he has relatives in different parts of the country. My brother lived in a different state at the time. My sister was still alive, and so yeah, it was a loss. There was no doubt about that, because I wasn't going to be driving an RV anywhere, let alone the car across several state lines. But again, he dealt with it with so much dignity and grace, and I'm so thankful that he did, because as my daughter is having issues with her eyes, her trust is in the Lord, and she is doing everything she can to protect her eyes, because she has this beautiful new baby girl. And it hasn't been easy for her. I'll just put it like that. So it's kind of a sad story, but it's not really sad, because when we go through troubles in life, especially loss of any kind, we're able to bear it and to get through it, because if you're a believer, if you have faith, we're able to get through it because we know who's in control. And so that makes it bearable. It makes it, we don't understand it. We cannot possibly understand some of the things we go through or the ones we love go through. But having that faith just makes all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world. So, anyway, enough said about that. All right, Needle, come on, get through here. We need to move on with this. So here's my problem, I guess, with this. I get to talking and then... See, so I just take a whole bunch of stitches at one time and kind of pull it through. This is another reason why I keep these little pliers in at my reach right here, because in times like this, it helps me to pull the needle through or whatever I'm doing. I do have some arthritis in this hand. I had it in my left hand as well, but many years ago, again, over 20 years ago, I had a hand surgeon in Southern California. He operated on it and had no more problems with it. This hand, on the other hand, my right hand, it's really flaring up. And I asked the doctor about it the other day, the ortho that I go through for my hips. I said, because he was giving me injections. I said, can you do injections in the hands? He said, yes. He said, but I really don't recommend them because it's such a small joint. It can be very, very painful, and the effect is not very long lasting. So I said, okay, well, he recommended surgery as opposed to getting injections. But I had already kind of made up my mind. I did not want to have an invasive procedure done. And as long as I could live with it, that would be okay. So here's our little ruffle. And we're just going to put it at the bottom of this page when I'm ready for that. So see, that took me a minute, but only because I was talking so much. All right. All right. So I think I want to colorize part of her a little bit. Just a little bit, not much. I could try these. I haven't used these pencils. I've had these a long time, and they're really watercolor pencils. So I don't know really how they will take to just... There's not a purple in here anyway. I have to play with these, and I just haven't done it yet. So what else I've got here? Oh, I've got these micron pens. I do have a whole... Well, they're down there. My colored pencils and other watercolor pencils. So this is purple. I hope this isn't too dark. So I don't want to do too much on here. Maybe just her ruffle. Sorry if my head's in the way. I don't need to see the top of my head. Oh, this is going to be dark. Well, let me do this side just so it'll match, and I'm not going to do the rest of it because it's just covering up the pattern of the lace. You can't even see it. Maybe I'll just do this little bow. And it doesn't matter how lightly I touch it, it just comes out really dark. I'm just barely touching the paper. Alright, that's all I'm going to do with that. I had another plan in mind, but since this one didn't work, I'm going to leave it be. Okay, so here's some fabric tack I'm going to use on this. Now I found when I'm putting this type of, when I've used this other pieces from this pack, and I just primarily, I mean I can dot some glue on the back of it, but I don't glue it real heavily. I kind of let my little lady here, I'll kind of let her be the anchor. Then I can dab a little bit on here just to, so it's not flying in the breeze. I hope you're having good weather where you live. It's pretty nice in Houston. I haven't been out today, but the sun is shining. There's a little bit of a wind blowing. It looks like it's slightly overcast, but I don't think there's rain in the forecast. But to be honest, you never know what might happen here in Houston. Okay, now I'm going to put some fabric tack on our little gal here. Should give her a name. How about Lucille? I wish now I would have come down a bit farther with that, but what's done is done. And like I said, this is really just for me, and I'm just sharing it with you as I work on it. So do we have some flowers that we can... Ew, those are too big. Way too big. Stickers that I really am enjoying these stickers. And if you're not aware, these came from Hobby Lobby. They were they're Paper Studio, and they were on sale when I purchased them. And I try to use them whenever I get a chance. Because they are transparent, but they're not so transparent that they get lost. And they don't have a really wide border on them, which is also nice. I mean, it's not a white border. And they're not too hard to get off. Those barely show up on that purple. Maggie here. Probably I want a butterfly, but I want something a little bit bolder than these guys. Butterflies right here. Well, that doesn't go with anything on here, but I think it's pretty. Doesn't exactly clash with or anything either, so. Oh, it's too big. She might be a little scared around a butterfly that big, or even one this big. But we're just playing, so we can do what we want. I guess this is slightly smaller. It only has one antennae. Alright, I'm going to do a little amputation here. Gotta make it even. I think this is another one that my Scan and Cut did. Cut off the, excuse my reach. Cut off one antenna, so I just amputated them and did the other one. Okay, so we'll put this here. And our ruffle will go here. And I often just let my string dangle off in case I decide I want to add a bead or two or something to it. What have I got here for? This has nice I like this one. Well, I like a lot of them, but this particular one says, let your faith be bigger than your fear. Cover this up back up. Put my butterfly on. I feel like it needs something else. It's just, I don't know. What do you think? Those flowers are a little hard to see, but you can't really see them very well on camera, but they look a little bit better in person. I mean, the little ruffle will take up some of the space down here on the bottom. And I'll just put the ruffle in. Call it good. We've been on here 40 minutes, my word, to do one little page. I hope you've enjoyed some part of this video, or the process anyway. And just sit down with whatever you have and have fun with it. Kind of let the paper and the elements guide you. And I pray that you have a blessed and happy Easter weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy your family. If you celebrate Easter, I know not everybody does. Enjoy your family. Relax. Do something fun for yourself. Okie dokie. This is going to go in here just like this. So, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you don't mind. And take care of yourself and be blessed. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.